Dorsey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
You're now listening to the Win or Lose Sports Show. Talking sports, hip-hop to pop culture. Available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are heard. It's kickoff time.
Livingston, Jordan.
Welcome back to another episode of the Win or Lose Sports Show. This is episode number 19, and today we're going to talk about the NBA because the NBA is back. We've got 4 more days until the season actually starts. It's preseason right now. We got 4 days until the season actually starts, but we're excited about the NBA season coming back because we love basketball. We love the NBA, and we're excited. So today I'm going to talk about the top 10 teams of the Western Conference. So next week or next episode, I'm going to talk about the top 10 teams of the Eastern Conference. Today, I'm going to focus on the Western Conference teams. So who do you have in your top 10 of the Western Conference? I think this year is going to be totally different from last year, mainly because Utah just wiped their team clean. They traded Rudy Gobert, they traded Donovan Mitchell. They added some young, good players on the team, but I don't think that team with those players can win big games or win or make it to the playoffs or get wins in the playoffs. So I think that changes everything in the Western Conference. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Western Conference. You got injuries, people returning from injuries. Kawhi Leonard's back from injury. Jamal Murray for Denver is back from injury. So Klay Thompson's got 100%. Is going to play this year. James Wiseman is going to actually play this year. He was injured last year. So I think that changes the dynamic of the Western Conference, but I think the Western Conference is still a better conference than the Eastern Conference. But we're going to focus just on the Western Conference. Who's the top 10? Who's your top 10? I'm going to list my top 10. So tell me in the comments or comment on our YouTube channel, social media, Win or Lose Show on all social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and even TikTok. So I'm going to do my top 10 Western Conference. Tell me what you think. Do the Lakers make the playoffs? Do the Lakers make the top 10? If the Lakers are in the play-in tournament, do they make the playoffs? I think so. So here is my top 10 teams of the Western Conference. Don't get mad. This is just my opinion. This is not fact. I'm just going off of how I feel the season or the teams are coming out with injuries and new people additions to these teams. So one thing I'm disappointed in is Portland Trailblazers. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year or in the top 10. But they haven't been making any moves to add any decent players to help Damian Lillard. So I'm thinking, are they doing this to tank to get a good draft pick? Because they've been doing this for the last couple of years. They haven't made the playoffs, not even a play-in tournament. And he has no help, no trades, no free agent signings that are big enough to make an impact to change the trajectory of their team. Sacramento did make some moves over the off season. I didn't see OKC making too many good moves, but those are and Houston Rockets are a young team, so I think they're making moves. They're so young that the move is going to take them a few years for those moves to impact actual wins or to generate actual wins for them. So I think Houston Rockets are on the right track. It's going to take a few years for them to produce. Utah, on the other hand, did a reverse, got rid of Rudy and Donovan, and they're going to go back to the drawing board with those young players and those draft picks. So I think it's going to take them a few more years to get back in that top 10. So here we go. Spurs, number 10. I didn't see any significant change on their team on the offseason. They still have DeMar DeRozan, who's a dominant player. He's a great mid-range player, great shooter, good defender, but he can't do it alone. But still, they have a decent team around him. Nothing great, but decent. I think they were number 9 last year. 10. They were 10 last year, so I think they'll stay at 10. So nothing changes, not too much, but they have a decent core of players around DeMar DeRozan, so they'll stay at 10. Number 9, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. They finished 11 last year, did not make the play-in tournament. They will make the play-in tournament this year. This is just my prediction. They'll be at number 9. The reason I say that is because hopefully Anthony Davis will stay healthy and average a 20-10 season and help LeBron on the floor, on the offensive floor and defense. LeBron can't average 30 points a game in his 20th season and expect him to lead the Lakers 100% by himself into a playoff team. That's not possible. He needs help. So AD hopefully will be that help if he stays healthy. They did add Pat Beverly and some other players, but they did add Pat Beverly, who is, he's tough. He's a tough guy. They need that tough presence on the floor. He's tough defensively, and he's aggressive. And he's a decent point guard. So he'll handle the ball sometimes, but he's that presence on the floor that they need. Besides LeBron, they still have Russell Westbrook, who may come off the bench and lead the second team. Whatever happens, whatever they do with Russell, I think it's going to be something positive, and he'll have a positive effect on the team this year. So that's why I think they'll be number 9. If they stay healthy, if AD stays healthy and stays on the floor, they'll finish number 9. So, number 8, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who finished number 7 last year. I think the only reason why they moved down a spot is because there's other teams who move up. So, and I don't think adding Rudy Gobert doesn't make that big of a difference for them offensively. Defensively, yes, but offensively, I'm not sure what it does for them. Anthony Edwards, of course, is great. Karl Anthony Towns is decent, but they lost Pat Beverly, who was the aggressor on the floor. Now with the Lakers, so they lose that, but they still gain Rudy Gobert. But I don't see any significant change in their team to bump them up above some of the teams that I have in that top 5 spot. So I think they'll go from 7 last year to 8 this year. Another reason why is because number 7 would be the Pelicans. And the reason why the Pelicans are number 7 instead of number 8 last year is because they have have Zion Williamson coming back from injury, who's 100%, who's going to play this year. And if he stays healthy, they'll be at number 7 or even higher. Of course, they already have that team chemistry that they had, but adding Zion to that with McCollum and Ingram, I just think that's going to boost their offense, of course, and defensively with Zion. It makes them a better team. Makes them a better team than the Timberwolves, better than the Lakers, better than the Spurs. So I think they may move up, could possibly move up above that 7 spot, but I have them at 7 right now. Number 6, the Los Angeles Clippers. It was a better Los Angeles team than the Lakers this year. I think they finished number 9 last year. They'll finish number 6 because Kawhi's back. If he stays healthy and stays on the floor, they may finish higher than that. But I have him at number 6 right now. Kawhi's back. They finished number 9 last year. Was in the play-in tournament, got put out by the Timberwolves. But I think they'll play a better brand of basketball with Kawhi back, and they have Paul George, and they have a nice core of players around those two superstars. Defensively, they'll be great. So they could finish higher than number 6, but I haven't met number 6 right now because Kawhi still has to get in the groove of playing 82 games. Can he play 82 games? Will he play 82 games? Probably not. Load management, of course, will hold him back from playing 82 games, but I think he'll play a decent amount of games this year, hopefully, and that will get them in the number 7 spot, which is still a number 6 spot, which is above the play-in tournament, so they don't have to worry about the play-in tournament. So they'll be safe at that number 6 spot if Kawhi stays healthy and plays a decent amount of games. At number 5, who finished number 2 last year, is the Memphis Grizzlies. Reason being is because I believe that they had they had a year to where they played great. They played great last year, but I think a lot of teams were down last year. A lot of teams were hurt. Clippers, Pelicans, Lakers, the Warriors. So I think they won't finish number 2, but they'll be in the top 5. Grizzlies number 5. They still have the same core of players led by Ja Morant, but I don't believe that they'll be in that top 3 seed like they were last year, number 2. Nothing against the Grizzlies. I just think other teams will play better against the Grizzlies this year. And of course, when other teams see a young team, it's surprising to see Ja Morant in the way they played in Memphis last year. But they'll see him again this year, and that'll change the way they play him defensively. Of course, other teams are better this year because of returning players from injury. So that puts the Grizzlies down to number 5. At number 4, a lot of people may be surprised about this, maybe not. But number 4, I have the Phoenix Suns. They finished number 1 last year, but I just don't think they have it. I don't think DeAndre Ayton is not communicating with his coach, or didn't communicate with his coach the whole summer, which is pretty odd to me. Chris Paul is getting older. He's losing his window of opportunity to go to a championship, and he's getting older. He's going to slow down a little bit. They still have Devin Booker, who's great. I just don't think that they can win that many games. 64 wins last year. I don't think they can win that many games this year with Chris Paul getting older. I don't think they have that chemistry. I don't think DeAndre Ayton is the fit that they need for the big man that the Suns need to win games. I don't think he's that guy. I think they thought he was that guy, and he's not performing up to task of how they thought he would play. So I have the Phoenix Suns slipping from number 1 to number 4. To me, that's not a surprise. To some, it may be. I don't see it. I don't see the Suns playing that well this year. It's still in the top 5 teams. So a decent team. Monty Williams will have them together. I just don't think they can be the number 1 team. So number 3, Denver Nuggets. I think that Denver Nuggets is another reason why the Phoenix Suns won't finish number 1. In a lot of teams, is because Jamal Murray didn't play at all last year. He was hurt. So did he play last year? He may have played a few games last year, but he was hurt. But him being back is the key piece that they were missing last year. They finished number 6 last year, and that's because he wasn't there. So I think they'll bump up 3 spots and finish number 3 from 6 to 3 this year. Because Jamal Murray's back, they'll have that same core on defense and offense. They run a good offense in Denver. With Jamal Murray back, that adds to it. So him playing as well as he can play, and stays healthy, if they stay healthy, Denver will finish number 3. So that bumps number 4 of last year, the Dallas Mavericks, up to number 2. Now, I got them number 2 because I believe in Luka. I don't know if anything changed on their team. Tim Hardaway Jr. may be back this year. I think he will be back actually 100% this year. But I believe in Luka. Luka's the type of guy, and I believe in Jason Kidd as well as a coach. Luka's the guy that kind of fights for his team on the floor. It may not be vocally, but the way he plays on the floor, he fights for them to win. I think that's the difference between him and a lot of players. He has that, I wouldn't say Kobe-esque type of attitude on the floor, but he has a leadership quality in him that will lead that team and force wins and take wins from other teams. So kind of like how Jordan was with early on with the Bulls before Scottie became Scottie. Jordan was the guy who kind of led his team no matter what was going on. I'm going to score this ball and I'm going to make us win this game because can't nobody stop me. That's how Luka is. Really, I think he's the type of player that if he's in a certain mode, you can't stop him. And I think he can be that guy for Dallas to take them to one of the top 2 teams in the Western Conference. They have a great core of players. Jason Kidd is a great coach. To me, he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's one of the best minds in the NBA. As a point guard, it's rare to see a starting point guard become a great coach. Isaiah Thomas was a terrible executive, a terrible coach. Magic Johnson was a terrible coach. But Steve Kerr, who didn't play a lot for the as far as starting wise for the Bulls, but he's a great coach because he saw a lot. He's a point guard. He has a point guard mind, but he saw a lot on the bench. So he became a great coach. Jason Kidd is on the other hand was a Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas type of player who played all the time. And those players are rarely become great coaches, but I think he became a great coach because he's so smart when it comes to basketball. So that puts him in that genius category to me as a basketball coach. And I think he has that for him and Luka's minds together in Dallas. That puts him at number 2. And I think they will be at number 2 and will probably meet the number 1 team in the Western Conference Finals. And that number 1 team is the Golden State Warriors. Why the Golden State Warriors? Didn't Draymond Green punch Jordan Poole in the eye in practice a few days ago or last week? Yes, he did. And I think that's one of the reasons why they'll be that number 1 team, is because they have that fight in them. Not necessarily that kind of fight where they fight each other, but they have that. They have that fight, that toughness in them, in Draymond Green and other players on the team. But I think the main reason why they'll be the number 1 seed is because they have those core 3 players of Draymond, Klay Thompson, and Steph. Well, I would say 4, and Iguodala's back. So they have those 4 core players on the team who's been together since 2013 when Draymond got drafted. So those players playing together, Steve Kerr having that same winning attitude, that same winning energy that he gives off to the new players, James Wiseman, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and the other players, Kuminga. I just think that they have that same energy that they had last year in the playoffs, that they'll bring that the 100% this year throughout the season, because Klay's playing all year. James Wiseman is playing all year, hopefully. So they're starting off the year 100%. That gives them an edge over the other teams. That gives them an edge over the Mavericks, over the Nuggets. playing together, win championships together. They won 4 so far. They may win the 5th. I did say in earlier podcasts that they might win their 5th ring this season. But I do have them at number 1. I don't think the Draymond Green situation will affect how they play on the floor. It may affect things outside of basketball, but I think when it comes to playing the game, that they'll let all that be what it is. You know, they'll keep that in their personal life, not in business. If Draymond is smart, that's what will happen. And I think he is smart. He made a mistake. It's not something that happens all the time, but I hear that is something that happens a lot in sports. Kevin Durant said he's never seen that before. Of course, he played for the Warriors, but I don't think that that happens a lot in basketball, especially videos that are leaked like that. I think that's the biggest effect of what happened, was the video being leaked, because that's not supposed to happen. Things are supposed to be kept in-house. Same thing with the Ime Udoka. A lot of those things that are happening this year are being leaked, and I don't understand why. The fight is one thing, but a personal relationship between management and under management, I don't think that should have been leaked. But that's a different story. But I think it's the social media or the new media era to where everything has to be transparent. I don't think that's fair to a lot of old school type of thinkers or old school sports fans, because we really don't want to see that. We want to see sports. Well, I mean, we like to see stuff on social media where you see Steph and his family or whatever, but it's certain stuff in sports that we don't want to see or we don't want to hear about. We want to see you play basketball. We want to see you being you as an athlete and you as a person. But I don't think that organizations and people inside those organizations should give away those organizational, quote unquote, organizational secrets, because it kind of ruins or it taints the image of that team or that person. So now it's like, oh, everybody hates Draymond Green. Everybody is, saying Draymond Green's a bad person. He's not a bad person. He has a bad attitude about certain things when he feels disrespected, maybe. But on the basketball court, I think he's a great fit for the Warriors, and he's been doing a good job over the last 9 years since he's been in Golden State. I just think he makes bad decisions when he feels disrespected, and that's something he has to work on as a person. But on the basketball floor, he may have to work on staying positive on the floor and not thinking about, okay, this guy just disrespected me on the floor, now I have to act up and I'm ruining my team's chances of winning a championship. That didn't happen last year. It may have happened in some aspects of the game, in certain situations, but they won the championship. So I think that is what the key thing is that he knows how to turn it on when it comes to winning basketball games. And he did that. He had some problems with Jaylen Brown last year of the Celtics in the finals, with them two going back and forth. But what he did was he turned that around, and now he used that to win the basketball game. That's the difference. That's what they have. That's what they have in Golden State. They have that. They have a Draymond Green who can, kind of like a Dennis Rodman type of player, but not that extreme, who can turn it on to say, okay, I'm going to mess with this guy or whatever, and it's going to change his attitude towards the game. I'm still focused because this is just what I do. And now we're going to win a basketball game because he's turned off of the game because now he's thinking about what I'm doing. But then I also have Steph and Clay and Andrew Wiggins, who scored a basketball anywhere on the floor. And we have James Wiseman on defensive end. So now it's like, okay, that's why we're number one. That's why the Warriors are number one in the Western Conference. If you think otherwise, if you think my top 10 was not the right top 10, or if you have a different opinion of it, leave a comment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This will be on our YouTube channel as well on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and wherever podcasts are heard. You can also see us on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even TikTok at Win or Lose Show. Go to our website at winorloseshow.com. See all the content we have on there. All of our podcasts will be on the website and other sports-related content. We'll be back next time on the next episode with the Eastern Conference top 10 teams. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time on the next episode.